to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the Taylor Carabajal press conference. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but we're here. I'm joined by Sky Sports' Adam Smith. Well, you're probably Katie Taylor's biggest fan, aren't you, Adam?
Yeah, Katie is, well, as you know, more than anyone, KUGAN, the pioneer of female boxing over the last 10 years. And she's a good friend of mine, and obviously we worked together closely for a long, long time. So I wanted to come up and chat to her about what she's been thinking of, the recent great nights for female boxing, particularly the O2 with Boxer and Sky, where we had the 2 million viewers. We had the rip-roarers between Marshall and Shields, and obviously Alicia Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer, and the wonderful sort of all-female night. And the great new crowd, and I wanted to sort of talk to her about what it means to her, the fact that she's always wanted to leave a legacy, that she's always wanted to be a trailblazer, and I think that there's obviously others involved. There's great women that have come before her and great women that will come after her, but I think Katie has been such a paramount figure in all of this. You go back to the moment she carried the flag for Ireland in 2012, the decibels in the XL when she fought Tasha Jonas, the turning professional with Matchroom and Sky here in 2016, and everything she's achieved obviously as a pro, the wonderful night at the Garden earlier this year, and she's a phenomenon. My kids look up to her, they were inspired by her, and they're coming on Saturday night, and we should all be very proud of what Katie Taylor's brought to the sport, and I'm very proud of where female boxing has come and women's sport. It's a big passion of mine, and I think it's right that we all sort of pay our dividends, our due dividends, and our thanks to Katie, who doesn't want to stop. She's telling me she wants to go on for a fair few fights still. She says we haven't seen the best of her. She wants to fight at Croke Park. She wants to fight in Vegas, and obviously it'd be great if she ends up fighting a Michaela Mayer, who's with Top Rank, or even Caroline Dubois, who's coming through. There's so many great young women fighters out there, and some fantastic nights ahead. And I know Katie wants to headline at Croke Park, and I know that the other women want to headline stadium shows. So I think we're all moving in the right direction. But yeah, I'm here to say thanks to Katie.
Who's the queen of boxing? Is it Claressa Shields or is it Katie Taylor?
I asked her the same question, and you know what Katie's answer is. She doesn't want to get involved in that. She's just pleased not only that Claressa's an incredible phenomenon in the sport, but also that there are so many other great females as well. She was really pleased about Tasha Jonas's rise since they fought. They had those really close fights, one in the Olympics and the very, very tight one as pros. And she was really pleased that Tasha had jumped up 3 divisions. She was like, that's astonishing to win a world title. And now she goes on and she headlines our next show on Sky November the 12th. And she's really pleased that Tasha's doing that. She was talking about Chantel as well and Jessica McCaskill. So it's not just about her and Claressa, but she's not going to compare. She just thinks it's fantastic that they're both doing so well for boxing, and they're both they're both role models, and they're very different, aren't they? Chalk and cheese in personality, but they've got enormous respect for each other, and I think that's great to see. And because there's so many weight divisions apart, there can't be that real comparison. So I think it's wonderful that they're both doing their own things. And for me, Katie, on this side of the water has done so well, but she's also got a huge fan base on the eastern seaboard. I'd love Claressa to come back and fight more in Britain, because I think that we can adopt her here. So I'd like Katie to go to Ireland and fight. It's long overdue. I'd like Claressa to come back here, but they're both incredible.
You mentioned Natasha Jonas there, and I do think sometimes that Natasha Jonas doesn't quite get the credit that she deserves. When we look back, and we were there that night where she was beaten by Vivian Albinov, to see her kind of, and also come through the Taylor fight, and what she's kind of accomplished over the last year or so, 18 months or so, is not to be kind of smirked at all. It's phenomenal. She doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion.
I adore Tasha. Obviously, she's part of our Sky team now as a commentator, and a very good one too. She's also a single mum, and that's wonderful that she could take the world title belt home to Mila eventually. She said that was the dream. Now she's got another one, and maybe she'll get a third on November the 12th. It is fantastic, you're right. She was Miss GB. She had a brilliant amateur career herself. And yeah, you look back to the progression and the blip she had against Vivian Obernauf and where she's come, and the fact Benn got her that wonderful world title shot, but 3 divisions heavier, and she goes and wins by stoppage in a couple of rounds on a huge night in Manchester on the Calm Brook, spectacular and just brilliant. And so I'm really pleased for Tasha. And the funniest thing, Kugan, was actually after the O2 the other night, she just said to me, look, I want them all. I want the winner of, Jessica McCaskill, Chantel Cameron. I want to unify at my division now. I want to then fight Clarissa Shields. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Weren't we meant to call a day? Weren't we meant to sort of have you as part of the Sky team now? She goes, well, I think there's hunger that's burning inside her because of the inspiration she's feeding off around and the state of women's sport as it is. But yeah, she's a brilliant story, and she's so loved, isn't she, Tasha, by everyone, men, women, everyone in the sport. She's very much admired, and I think she deserves every bit of success. It's a great story, and that's why Katie, just earlier, was really pleased for her, I think.
Absolutely. Adam, before I do let you go, I do want your kind of reaction to yesterday's news regarding the statement the board put out regarding Conor Benn. I feel like in the next couple of days, just from what we're hearing from Eddie, etc., and Conor Benn's statement that weren't put out by him, but someone from his team, that we are going to hear a lot more unfolding about this very, very complicated situation.
It is a very complicated situation. We've talked about it before. I wasn't directly involved. It wasn't our fight, but of course, Conor, Benn, Chris Eubank have been with Sky before, and it was a very difficult week, a bad week for boxing. The right decision happened, the fight didn't take place, and now they've got to get to the bottom of it. So it's Conor Benn that has got to take the situation forward, I guess, now with his legal team and his medical team. He's telling me he's going to prove his innocence, and we've got to wait to see that unfold. I read the British Boxing Board statement, and I, like you, wait for further news. It is a complex situation. I guess more will come out from the Conor Benn side of things, and until that happens, we just have to sort of crack on and wait and see what happens. What we do know is that there's no place for drugs in the sport, but Conor messaged me a couple of days after it all unfolded saying that he'd never taken anything and that he was going to prove his innocence, and I guess that's the plan for him now. But the board have made this statement, and it's obviously a very serious situation, and we have to wait and see the process that moves forwards. But I can't comment any more than you can because we're not really involved.
Absolutely. I think, again, it's something that Eddie Hearn's been saying from the off, that wait until we hear all the facts before we kind of make our judgments, but it doesn't quite work like that in boxing because everyone has their opinion, and it's free speech to a certain degree, but I suppose we'll see it unfold over the next few days.
Yeah, we certainly will, and I think the good news for boxing is after the Fury and AJ non-happening event, and that didn't come off, and then the bad week with Eubank Benn being called off, we had the fantastic night at the O2 with the women, and got Katie Taylor this week, got Tasha Jonas in a couple of weeks, and Fury-Chisora has been announced, and I know that's had a lot of criticism, but it's still a heavyweight fight at Tottenham at a great stadium, and there's plenty of fights that have been announced. Boxer have got a great Sunday afternoon show. We're looking forward to that, November 27th, with Adam Azim, who we're really excited about. But nice bumping into Ellie Scottney here, who obviously shares a stable with Adam, and we wish them well, even if they're not with Sky and with Boxer. Ellie's got her own dreams, as so many others do. I caught up with Pat McCormack and Mark Dickinson here, and they've got a new journey to go on. So, yeah, we're pleased to sort of see the competition, the state of boxing, and the good things are that lots of fights are happening, and we move forward. But it's a difficult situation, the one with Conor Benn, and I'm sure it's one that will unfold, and it'll be down to him and his team to take the process forward, I guess now.
Just a quick one, you mentioned there Fury and Chisora. Look, we see the fights from quite a long time ago now. The first and the second fight, I think the first fight was almost 10, 11 years ago. But
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, And here we are again, we're seeing a trilogy. Tyson Fury's always said, though, in his kind of list of opponents that he wants to face, that Chisora's already there. When it came back, it did come under a little bit of stick. I know Frank Warren's kind of almost said, right, well, who else was there available, etc. What do you think about that fight yourself?
I think. Let's be honest. I think we were disappointed it wasn't Anthony Joshua. Would we have preferred a Manuel Chara or someone like that, a Chris Arreola, a Jermaine Franklin's fighting Dillian White? There's only a certain amount of heavyweights around. Derek Chisora is a name. Derek Chisora's coming off a win over Kubrat Pulev. He's North London, hence the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium idea. And of course, they've shared a lot of history together. But he's a massive underdog, and Tyson Fury's only got better and better. And although Derek has enjoyed an Indian summer and always keeps himself in tremendous shape and will bring the war and will bring some entertainment to it all, it'd be a massive upset if he can pull anything off. But yeah, he's it's Derek, and ultimately it's a name that people know, the casual fans know. It's hardly the trilogy, I think, that we were think about in heavyweight history terms, is it? I mean, 2 fights and Fury's won them both comfortably, but look, it's a business. I think Derek's a decent name. It amidst the others that were thrown about. It's not Anthony Joshua. It's not Alexander Usyk, and that's what we want. We want the Usyk Fury fight. So let's see what happens on December 3rd, and I hope we move towards that in the spring. We want to see that undisputed fight. It was a real shame we didn't get Fury Joshua. But the show's got to go on. Tyson Fury demands attention. He's box office. Everyone wants to go and see him fight, and this time it's Derek Chisora, and hopefully Derek can give him, some rounds and some. He'll give it everything. You and I know he'll give it everything, but it's obviously he's a big underdog, and he knows that. Tyson knows that, and you know that.
Adam Smith, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. We look forward to Saturday night. It's always exciting when Katie Taylor fights, so I'm sure Saturday night will be no different.
See you then, KUGAN. Cheers.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something. Completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.